Members, we have to wait till Commerce Committee completes before we can start our meeting, so hang tight. We'll be getting in shortly. Okay. Members, go ahead and make sure you are signed in so we can take the roll in a moment. Reason we were waiting, Chairman Haston also sits on Commerce, but he's here and they're wrapping it up. So the Rules Department said we could go ahead and start now. So we're good. Oh, just a second. Okay, Madam Clerk, take the roll. President Hakeem, you in? Where's Representative Sapicki? He was here. Representative Glenn, he's not here? Okay. Okay. Madam Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 members present. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Members, okay, this is our last committee of education. And thank you very much for all the hard work. And I really like being in this house here in room 3. Has really worked out well for us the last couple of weeks. And so been a great committee. I think we can finish these. Most of these, except for 2 or 3, were referred from other committees. That's why we're back in here. And so we'll take these 7 bills up. And let's see here. Members, you have any recognitions or announcements you need to make? Representative McKenzie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With this being our last meeting, we had a great intern. Representative Gloria Johnson and I have an intern. She's from Nashville, but she's about to graduate from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Our intern, Erin Craven, has done a great job. Let's give her a round of applause.
Fantastic. Well, since you mentioned that, is Jasmine in here? There she is. Jasmine has been our intern. I want to say this is one of the sharpest young ladies I have ever worked around. You have been a great help to us. Thank you, Jasmine. Anyone else like to represent Hurt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had to make sure there. I don't represent Haywood County anymore, but I used to, so I got to know some people over there. But we do have members of Leadership Haywood in attendance with us today, so welcome them.
Anyone else like to have recognition? If not, I will recognize Representative Mayberry, our resident pastor. Would you lead us in an opening prayer?
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this time together. We thank you for the amazing opportunity that we have to serve our great state, Lord God, in education today. Lord, I ask that you just guide us, direct us, Lord God, give us wisdom. And I thank you, Lord God, for being here for each member. Lord, I thank you for this maybe the final time we come together. Lord, I just thank you for the blessing it has been here. And Lord, I just thank you for guiding us today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much. Okay, members, as we jump into this, let's start out with item number 1, House Bill 912 by Chairman Sapicki. I understand we want to roll this to the Hill.
That's correct, Mr.
So
Chairman.
without objection, House Bill 912, roll to the Hill. Let's bring item number 2, House Bill 1369 by Representative Chisholm. You're recognized, sir. You got a motion and a second. Let's look at, see what you, any amendments on your bill? Okay, 20. Okay, go ahead and give me the amendment you want to adopt.
I have drafting code 016639.
You got a motion, you got a second on your amendment. It rewrites the bill. So members, any objection to adding the amendment 16639 to the bill for proper discussion? Hearing no objection. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Your bill is ready. Go ahead and explain.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Committee. I brought to you House Bill 1369 that requires the Department of Health to make available and require educational materials on blood lead level testing for pregnant women who received a WIC. It requires the Department of Health to provide women with educational information on specialized nutrition services, education on how to mitigate lead in the body, and other existing wraparound service tailored for people with elevated blood lead level or lead poisoning. And with that, I stand by for your consideration.
Okay, members, questions, discussion? Chairman Spicky.
Thank you. And Representative Chisholm's a very good bill. I'm scratching my head trying to figure out why it's in education, because there's nothing in education here except the word education. And hopefully the clerk is listening, that they're not going to send us every bill in the General Assembly that has the word education in it, or we'll be here until December. So it's a great bill. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Of course, this is the only committee you could have got it out of anyway. So. All right, members, further discussion on House Bill 1369. No discussion. Any objection to the question? Here now, Madam Clerk, put the vote on the board. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 18 ayes and 0 nays.
Okay, House Bill 1369 moves on to calendar and rules.
Thank you, Chairman and committee.
Thank you. Members, brings us to item number 3, House Bill 1491. By Representative Bosso, you got a motion second. Representative Bosso, you are recognized. Any amendments we need to? They're traveling with the bill, I was told, so nothing to add. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members. This is a bill that will put voluntary vocal prayer back into our public schools. As all of you know, we had prayer in public schools from the time the state was founded back in 1796 all the way up until 1962, when the U.S. Supreme Court, in a case called Engel versus Vitale, found that school prayer violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. The Supreme Court has adopted a new test to determine whether any religious prayer in school or in any public forum violates the Establishment Clause. And this bill is written specifically to comply with the new standards adopted by our Supreme Court, particularly in the Kennedy versus Brumberton case decided on June 27 of 2022. So it provides for voluntary vocal prayer in public schools, but in order to participate, any faculty member, staff member, student, or parent would have to sign a written consent form to participate. It would only be done before or after school hours, and only in the hearing of those who have voluntarily, by written consent, decided to participate. The bill also requires our K through 12 educators to teach the Bible as literature and history, once again, as was done going back to the very beginning of the state. Parents can, of course, opt students out of that portion of the curriculum should they choose to do so. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready for questions.
Thank you, Representative Bosso. Let's go to Chairman Haston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I understand the essence of the bill, and I appreciate a lot of it. And my 5 school districts really don't have a problem with the content part of this legislation, but the issues that my district has, my 5 school districts, is just the scheduling issues that can arise from this, dealing with their instruction time scheduling, and also some personnel issues that can arise with this, because we've run into this over the years. When you do have students who are opting out, those students can't be in the rooms with their instructors at that time. And that leads to having to find other instructors and other school personnel to be with those students, and then trying to fill that time. And it's kind of, it gets to be a tight squeeze. And so I appreciate the intent of the bill, but because of some of the concerns that my districts, the school districts I have in my district, I'm going to have to not support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Haston. Representative Bosso, I'll come back to you. Any comment before I move on?
Just one that, I'll remind the members that we had voluntary prayer in schools from 1796 to 1962 in Tennessee, and those types of issues were in no way insurmountable. And so although obviously this will put us back to a point where there can be voluntary prayer in schools again, whatever scheduling issues arise, whatever personnel issues arise, will not be different from those that our school systems faced for generations. In fact, just looking back at Engel versus Vitale, that was a case where prayer was voluntary. It wasn't compelled. Students could opt out. In that particular case, the Board of Regents in New York simply specified a prayer that was 22 words long. It provided, Almighty God, we acknowledge our dependence upon thee, and we beg thy blessings upon us, our parents, our teachers, and our country. That was the entire prayer. And obviously, a prayer like that is not going to disrupt any school day in any school district in the state. And so with tremendous respect to Chairman Haston, I would submit that any educators who are pushing back on this because of the difficulties or their perceived difficulties in implementing it simply have to take note of our history and find that this is not something that is insurmountable. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Chairman Haston, had a follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, the prayer part wasn't an issue. It wasn't an issue with the district. And that really wasn't what they had cited. It was just the requiring of all students being taught something that would be during the school day. So it wasn't the prayer part that could be before or after. It was just the stuff that would be during the school day. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Let's go to Chairman Sapicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Representative Bulso, I don't have a problem with the prayer section. I think it's fine. If the children want to pray, they should be able to pray. And if they don't want to pray, they shouldn't have to pray. Not a problem with that. I think the problem we get into is when we start getting into curriculum, we start getting into standards. And so that's where I have grave concern with this bill. In the section where it talks about teaching the Bible as literature, age-appropriate instruction on the history of Israel, the stories of the moral and ethical teachings of the Old and New Testaments, we could substitute in for that the Quran as literature, the appropriate instruction of the history of Islam, Judaism. And this can go on and on and on to where now, because it's in our standards, now we get a problem with, we only have 180 days to teach what we need to teach the kids in a school year. I would be perfectly fine with taking that section and making it a elective in high school in the junior and senior year, that if a student wants to take an elective and they want to learn about the religions of the world, totally fine with that. But I think because it's prescriptive of changing the standards, we don't evaluate our standards but every 8 years. So English language arts would not be evaluated for another 6 years. Social studies wouldn't be adopted for another 8 years. So you're talking the implementation of this bill could quite possibly be 10 years from now for it even to take effect. And so I wholly support the prayer portion, but the other part I just can't support. I'd be willing to work with you, sir, over the summer to come up with a curriculum change or a standards change that implements an elective for prayer, because I think it'd be good for the kids to learn about all the different types of religions out there and to be able to compare and contrast. And so for that reason, Representative Bulso, I can't be a supporter of this bill in its entirety. So, and able to study this further, I'd make a recommendation that we send this bill to summer study.
Thank you, Chairman Spicky. Is that a motion you would like to have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion for to send it to summer study. Do I have a second? I do have an objection. So we have a, 1 second. We do have a motion before us to send it to summer study. We have an objection. And from what I understand, we have to put this on the board at this time. Okay, so Madam Clerk, we're going to put the vote on the board. If you agree with the motion to send it to summer study, you will vote yes. If you disagree, you vote no. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes and 7 nays.
Thank you. House Bill 1491, the motion appeals and it moved to a summer study. Thank you. Item number 4, do you have a comment, sir? Representative Mayberry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry to go out of order here, but Chapel Hill from Montgomery County Sierras, want to recognize them real quick. They just came in the room.
Thank you. I'm glad you all are here. I saw you come in. I'm glad you recognize them. This is the full Committee of Education. We're on our last committee in education, and we're winding down legislative session. And so we have 7 bills we're dealing with today. So we're glad you're here. Let's now go to item number 4, which is Chairman Haston.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Haston?
I do have an amendment, drafting code 13949.
So we, okay, I did not say House Bill 1838, but Chairman Haston, we're on that. And the amendment you want us to look at is 13949.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
It does. We do have another amendment. You will
It's the
leave.
new one.
Okay, let's go ahead and deal with it. 13949. It does rewrite the bill.
You just, if he's going to adopt the second one, you would just need to adopt 16977.
Chairman Haston, you recognize?
It might need to go to legal. Which one was the last amendment that we had drafted? Was it 16977 or 13949?
Correct.
16977.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In legal, 16977. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, and that does rewrite the bill 16977. Members, any objection to adding this amendment to the bill for proper discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, your bill is properly amended. Chairman Haston, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, we offer career readiness assessments for seniors. This bill would simply allow sophomores and juniors to also take this assessment, and it would just be for one time. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, members, that explanation before us on House Bill 1838. Questions? Chairman, Representative Johnson?
And what type of test, career readiness, is that similar to the VOC test that a lot of kids take?
Chairman Haston?
This would actually cover like the ACT work keys. That's the test that's most prominently given in our schools to our CTE students.
I mean, it would be paid for as well, correct?
Chairman Haston?
Yes.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none. We're on House Bill 1838. Any objection to the question? Would the clerk, excuse me, would the clerk put the vote on the board? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 18 ayes and 0 nays.
Thank you. House Bill 1838 does move out to finance. That brings us to item number 5, House Bill 1977. I had to pass the gavel down to Chairman Raper. That one is one that I'm carrying.
We are now on calendar number 5. It's House Bill 1977. Now it's been properly motioned. Do you have an amendment, sir?
I do. It's 14324.
It's attached to the bill. And do we have any other amendments? No at this point.
No.
Chairman White, you recognize, sir.
Thank you. Members, this bill, if I can explain it before you, we call this the teacher residency and teacher scholarship bill. If you remember back in 2023, we passed legislation called the Future Teacher Scholarship Act of 2023. It was designed to attract more classroom teachers. At the time, we gave a $3,500 per year scholarship to those going into the EPP programs to become teachers, as we know, to address our teacher shortage. That is part of the bill this year. And what we're doing on this, and this will be settled in finance, of course, which got a fiscal note, we're raising that amount from $3,500 to $7,500 per year for those going into the teacher program. And we're also extending it to where it's not just your traditional student of 18 to 22, but those of any age that want to come back into the classroom and get their licensure to teach school. So it expands it also. The second part of the bill deals with teacher residencies. In Memphis, we have a great called Memphis Teacher Residency. They've been going on since I think about 2011. Is that correct? I believe that's correct, Governor. I remember in 2011 went down with Governor Haslam, and he was behind this work. Also, we have Nashville teacher residency. And what we want to do through this, if we can work out the fiscal note through finance, it creates a 3-year pilot program for teacher residency programs, which has retained one of the highest well-prepared teachers, and especially in Memphis, it exceeds expectation. And what it would do, the fiscal note would, they could have up to 100 residents per year, and at $30,000 for each resident for the total of 4 years, $7,500 per year. And because these are well-performing residencies for our teachers. And so with that, that's what the bill does. And with that, I renew the motion.
Thank you for the explanation. Before we have discussion, I want to go backwards and do one thing as far as the amendment is concerned. We're back on the amendment now. I didn't give anybody a chance to weigh in. So all in favor of the amendment, please note by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Now the amendment is attached correctly. Now we're open for discussion, and I see Rep. Johnson first.
Thank you. I guess my question is, are these teacher residency programs, are they run through the universities with teacher training programs?
Let me double check on that. They're their own programs. Let me check with Lee.
Nonprofit, and they partner with the LEA.
Yeah. Item number 4 in their residency program means an education-related organization with a 501c3 nonprofit organization that conducts teacher preparation training using a residency model in partnership with an LEA, post-secondary institution, or EPP. Does that answer?
I guess what I don't understand are where do they get these, the professors? I'm not sure why they're qualified to run a teacher training program because they're a nonprofit. And what level are their instructors?
Chairman White.
Thank you. And I do have, are they on the list? I do have David Montague from Memphis Teacher Residency. He can
That would
answer
be really
that question. Would y'all, Mr. Chairman, go out of session?
We're going out of session at this time.
And Mr. Chairman, also THEC is here if we would like them to come up in case they can answer a question.
You will have 3 minutes, and if you, before you begin, if you will state your name, please, and your title.
Great, thank you. My name is David Montague. I'm the Executive Director of the Memphis Teacher Residency. To your question regarding the efficacy of the program, first of all, I represent, as I said, the Memphis Teacher Residency Program. We are a nonprofit organization. We're an education-related, ERO, education-related organization. We offer a residency program where we recruit nationally and locally to bring in aspiring teachers to our city to serve Memphis high-need public schools. We provide this in partnership with Lipscomb University. So we provide a Master's of Arts in Teaching degree through our organization. Our faculty is hired as adjunct faculty with Lipscomb University, and they would be the ones that offer our MAT coursework. In addition to that, we have a team of instructional coaches that have been highly successful urban teachers in our Memphis schools who serve as instructional coaches for our residents. So they spend an entire year in this residency program. We bring in a cohort that arrives in June of each year. It has 3 primary components: an education or academic component where they earn a Master's of Arts in Teaching. Second of all, they're a resident or an intern placed in a mentor classroom teacher of a highly effective mentor. And so they co-teach with that teacher for an entire year, Monday through Thursday. And our instructional coaches observe and give feedback regularly. And then the third component is a strong sense of community. We believe a lot of teachers leave the classroom because they feel isolated and alone. So we provide a great sense of community and esprit de corps, if you will, that helps them stay in the classroom. And to our effectiveness, annually, the Tennessee State Board of Education provides a teacher prep report card. And for the last 8 years in a row, we've received and exceeds expectation on the teacher prep report card. In addition to that, we have in, I think, 5 of the last 7 years, we've received the highest number of points awarded by the State Board of Education among all 43 teacher prep programs in the state. In addition, the Nashville Teacher Residency also scores very, very high in those same metrics, particularly around the issue of retention. And so we have now, we began in 2009, MTRs began in 2009. So we have 17 years of experience of recruiting now 800 teachers for Memphis who have performed not only according to the State Board of Education's report, but the Memphis Shelby County Schools does their own internal evaluation of MTR graduates. And in 9 of the last 10 years found that we have statistically significantly, according to TVOS scores, statistically significantly outperformed peer teachers in our Memphis schools. So we have a very, very long history of running an innovative program that has been highly successful. And we would appreciate ongoing support from the state to help us continue that.
Thank you, sir, for your explanation. Representative Johnson, you have a follow-up, please?
Yes. Can you tell me predominantly, where does your funding come from?
Currently, we have several buckets of funding. One, we are an AmeriCorps-sponsored organization, so we do get some funding from AmeriCorps. The last 2 years, we're grateful for the state support. We have been supported with $500,000 from the state. And then in addition to that, largely it's from 2 primary sources. One, local foundations in Memphis, and then what we would call a fee for service. So schools will pay us a portion of our costs to hire our teachers who then serve for 3 consecutive years. After the year of residency, they commit to teaching for 3 additional consecutive years in a Memphis school. And we're paid a fee for that service for providing it. And it's important to note there, typically districts spend about $20,000 to recruit every 1 teacher. Right. And in Memphis, we're hiring approximately 1,000 new teachers every single year. So by our work in recruiting and training these teachers, we're offsetting that significant cost to the district.
What is the company that you spoke that locally?
Representative Johnson, you're recognized.
Sorry, that does a lot of that fund. You said there's one particular company or organization that funds.
Well, I may have misspoke. We have public funding through AmeriCorps.
Yeah, you said AmeriCorps, you said the state.
Yep. And then we have fee for service is another big bucket. And then one category would be local foundation. So there's 8 or 9 or so foundations in Memphis that are our supporters. And then other than that, our big bucket would be
Can you
just
tell me who
individuals.
some of those 9 are?
Representative Johnson, you're recognized.
Sure. We're supported locally by the Hyde Foundation, Urban Child Institute, the Poplar Foundation, the Briggs Foundation, the Cruz Family Foundation, statewide, the Haslam Foundation. So those would be our kind of our largest, most significant foundations. We have broad, to that point, we have very broad and popular support locally and statewide for our work, but it's very difficult to plan ongoing over time for those 1-year contributions. So having some sustained ongoing funding would allow us to grow our work and to plan more effectively.
Thank you. And I'm going next to Chairman White.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Montague, also, I see Nashville Teacher Residency back here. I understood in the conversation we had that they are also focusing on special ed teachers. Can you testify to that?
I can't, but Matt Cheek, the executive director, I'm sure would be pleased and happy to report on their unique work.
He didn't sign up on the list, so we're prohibited from doing that. But I think that was a conversation we had the other day.
Yes.
And special ed teachers are very, very important.
That's correct.
So I appreciate their focus.
Yes, sir.
Representative Hakeem.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Montague.
Mhm.
I'm going to use this term. This is an aside question.
Okay.
Are you related to the Montagues of Chattanooga?
I'm not that I know of.
Okay, that's all I need.
Yeah. That was an easy one. Yeah, that's right.
If no other discussion at this point, without objection, we're going back into session. And Representative Hakeem.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple of questions. One is this a statewide program or is this West Tennessee centric?
Well, right now, as far as the residencies, that's what you're asking about?
Yeah, and
the residency program.
Yes.
The bill, these teacher scholarship is statewide, But now we have a Memphis teacher residency, we have Nashville teacher residency, and hopefully that will expand. But we're doing this because they're doing great work. Creating this 3-year pilot program is what we would hope to get through finance. It does have a fiscal note that we're working on.
Representative Hakeem?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think you just identified why I needed to say something. We're dealing with West Tennessee, we're dealing with Middle Tennessee. I haven't heard anything about East Tennessee.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but there's just not a residency program that's been established up there yet. The one in Memphis has been on since 2009, I think he just said. And I visited that several times doing excellent work. And I would hope we would get one up in East Tennessee, but right now this is where the two are.
Okay, I'll just say once again, you left us out.
At this time,
Wasn't on purpose.
At this time, I see, are there other questions while we're in session? I see, okay, Chairman Slater?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for bringing this bill, Chairman White. We heard from the teacher residency centers this past summer during Innovation Committee. And previously, I was not aware of what was taking place, but as they presented during the summertime, became a fan of what is taking place and them being an additional EPP in our state. And to the representative from East Tennessee, one of the things that this can be replicated, and that was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I asked a question to that point back in the summer about replication. These types of programs can be replicated. They add to the teacher pipeline, and as it already has been described, there are supports during the residency, but then the community among teachers continues even after residency, and we heard testimony of that in the summer. And so thank you, Chairman White, for bringing this bill, and I certainly support it.
Thank you. And for our guest speaker, I saw that you had a question. I can't recognize you while we're in session, but at this time, without objection, I'll go back out of session so he can ask. We're out of session.
Great. Thank you for
You're
that.
recognized, sir.
Appreciate that. I just wanted to respond to Representative Hakeem's comments. There is a residency program in Chattanooga. And so one, I wanted you to know East Tennessee is represented in that way. And then second of all, to previous comments, this is available. Part of the innovation of this bill is it would incent other communities to establish residency programs because this bill and funding would be available to them. So it allows for programs in any county in the state to create their residency programs and then take advantage of the bill and the funding that might come with that. So it is eligible to all portions of the state, and there are residencies in East Tennessee.
Are there other questions while we're out of session? Rep. Hakeem?
Thank you. Just point of clarity. You said there's opportunities for, I guess, statewide.
Yes,
And there is a residency program in Chattanooga.
correct.
Not you, but I'm wondering why this was put together without any consideration of East Tennessee. What? Could someone answer that for me? Okay.
Yeah, we're out of session.
Okay, let's
You wanna
go
wait?
into section. We know what question I'm going to ask. If I may. May I?
We're back in session, and Rep. Hakeem, we're coming right back to you.
Thank you very much, sir. And you know, to us, it's a serious question that time after time, East Tennessee is not looked at in the same light as West Tennessee and Middle Tennessee. And there are needs that we have in East Tennessee. So I would hope moving forward, or maybe there's a way with the program as it stands now to include East Tennessee. We would greatly appreciate any consideration. Thank you.
Chairman White, you recognize, sir.
Thank you for your comments. I think you're misunderstanding, though. This was not put together. What we're doing, this is a statewide program, but you got to have people in your area are willing to expand it. The Memphis residency has been going on since 2009, he said. Nashville teacher residency is, how long? 10 years. And so you have to have someone in your area. And now what this bill will do is allow those in East Tennessee that want to set up a residence to do so. So do you understand what I'm saying? It's not, nothing was put together. This is helping those who are doing great work expand. And hopefully this will be expanded around the state because they're doing a great job with training teachers for our classroom.
Rep. Hakeem?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If my understanding is correct, I think we heard that there is a residency program in East Tennessee.
Chattanooga.
That's East Tennessee. And you know, I know it's not the intent, but again, I say time after time, we overlook East Tennessee. We pay taxes. And I think we're entitled to be a part of a program of this nature. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman White?
You absolutely are, and that's for the purpose of this bill. So you have your work cut out for you for East Tennessee. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Chairman Reedy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Previous question.
The question has been called. Are there objections? Okay, Madam Clerk, please open up the board. All those in favor, vote yes. All those against, vote no. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 present not voting.
This travels to GovOps.
Thank you, committee, on that bill. Now, members, that brings us to House Bill 1664 by Representative Mayberry. You have a motion and a second. Let's get your legislation in order. Any amendments, sir?
I don't know if they're traveling or not.
They are. They're
They are?
traveling with
Then
us,
that's
so
it.
we don't need to add anything. So you're recognized. You got a motion, second. You're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1664 is a straightforward accountability measure. Last year, the General Assembly passed legislation prohibiting discriminatory preferences in state and local government. While the O's prohibitions were put in place, there were no uniform requirements to entities to certify that they're in compliance with the law. And this is what this bill will do. I see ready for questions.
Okay, we have the explanation. We open up the questions. Representative Glenn, you're recognized first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And sponsor, I'm just going to be quite frank and upfront. I think it's appalling that you want the other entities to report back on a DEI, because that's what this is about, DEI. You want them to report back to the General Assembly for any policies they put in place that may seem discriminatory, when yet in Clarksville, Montgomery County, a member was put on the school board who was unqualified, did not meet any type of school requirements, that was put on the school board over a qualified black man. No, this is not. This is about.
Stay on the bill.
This is on
Stay
the bill.
Okay, 1 second. We have a point of order. Recognize Chairman Spicky.
So my point of order, Mr. Chairman, is I'm sorry, my bad, sorry. We are litigating a bill that this General Assembly has already passed. All this bill does is require reporting. I'll be more than happy to entertain the comments on reporting of a policy that's already in place. But that's what we're talking about. It's a reporting bill.
Okay, Representative Glenn, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, this is about reporting. You're requiring the other departments to report on discriminatory policies that are DEI related, when that's exactly what happened. An unqualified black man, a qualified black man, was discriminated against because the member took a white woman and had her put on the school board over a qualified black man. So how are we reporting?
Thank you. Point of order, Chairman Spicky.
Mr. Chairman, I totally understand that issue, but this is a reporting bill. That is, he's litigating something that happened that may be discriminatory, that would be a complaint to the Attorney General or something like that. But this is it's a reporting bill on a bill we've already passed. We're not talking about if he has an objection to the reporting, okay, but we're litigating a bill that was already passed, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Glenn, do you understand what Chairman
Yes,
Spicky is
Mr.
telling
Chairman,
you?
I object to us asking someone to report we don't even know what the discriminatory policies are, first of all. You're asking someone to report. I object to that. When you put an unqualified woman on a school board over a qualified black man, that's reporting. That's reporting. So how are we going to ask all these other organizations to report when you put an unqualified white woman on a school board? You paraded around the county commissioners to put this woman on the school board who was unqualified over a qualified black man, but yet we're going to tell all these other entities to report to us any discriminatory policies as it relate to unqualified black folks.
Thank you, Representative Glenn. Let me go to Representative Johnson. You head up, then I will come back to, sorry, sponsor the bill, Representative Mayberry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill has nothing to do with what the local county commission appointed to a school board. That's what the county commission appointed, nothing to do with me. But this bill has nothing to do with that. This bill has to do with the requirements of discriminatory practices, making sure that it gets reported to the comptroller's office.
Representative Glenn, look at me.
Yes.
Keep it down. You're good. You're good. Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry, my eyes are crossing.
You respond. We're on a
Mr.
debate here,
Chairman,
so let's keep our debate
I
smooth.
will. I'll keep it down. The sponsor said it has nothing to do with him. It is his bill. And he's asking organizations to report to the General Assembly, the comptroller, whatever, about discriminatory bills or policies that as it relate to DEI. So if I take a unqualified person and escort them around and get members to vote for them, that is it. That has everything to do with me because I'm the one who's saying DEI is gone. DEI is no longer here. We are no longer doing DEI. That's exactly what this bill is saying. Take your departments, any bill that's discriminatory or policy, which again, we still don't know what the policies are, and report them if they are discriminatory. What is discriminatory? Is it only if they're black? Is it only if they're what? Woman? I mean, tell me what the discriminatory policies are because we know what happened. So that's the question. And I didn't raise my voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. We appreciate that. Sponsor anything? If not, I'm going to go to Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So diversity, equity, inclusion, any discriminatory preferences. Can you tell me how do you define a DEA policy? What do you think that is?
Representative Mayberry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. DEA, I think it's drug enforcement, but.
I said DEI.
No, you said DEA, but last year we argued that bill. It passed on the House floor. So I'm not here to reestablish that. We're saying in this bill that we're going to have reporting based on what we passed last year.
And I understand
Representative
that.
Johnson, you're recognized.
But I want to understand what you think DEI policies are.
You recognize?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand that you're asking that question, but
Because I'm not relitigating the other bill.
I understand that's what you're
You
asking.
recognize.
But last year,
Representative Mayberry, 1 second. Come back to the chairman each time. Representative Mayberry, you're recognized.
I understand that that's what you're asking, but last year we argued that bill through committees for a long period of time, each committee. I'm not here to relitigate that. So this bill simply is going to be a reporting bill to the comptroller that we are complying with the law that our General Assembly passed last year.
Thank you. Let's now, you have a follow-up? And then
Yes, absolutely.
You go, you're recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you. And I understand that. What we're talking about, though, you're talking about reporting this discriminatory preference. And the reality is, you know, Clarksville especially is a town where there are a lot of veterans. DEI is to be inclusive of veterans. So would it be discriminatory policy that we would have to report if you gave preference to hiring veterans?
Representative Mayberry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, not relitigating last year's bill, but veterans had nothing to do with last year's bill.
You want more follow-up, then I'll go the next.
DEI has absolutely everything to do with hiring veterans. And it has everything to do. DEI is not discriminatory practice. DEI is about having policies that make everyone feel part of the team at your company or at your school system. DEI is making sure that veterans are given consideration when they have the same qualifications as everybody else. DEI is about making sure that everybody feels a part of the team, everybody's a good, productive worker, and you're overseeing how that happens. DEI is not in any way, form, or shape discriminatory. So I'm asking you, would you report someone for giving preference to a veteran hire?
Representative Mayberry.
Thank you,
that
Mr.
be
Chairman.
in that report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, last year, not really litigating that, but it was clear that the veterans had nothing to do with the bill that was passed last year. But I'm not going to be.
And you don't know what
Representative Johnson, no back and forth. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to the next on the list, which is Representative Johnson. We have to have order. Representative Reeves, you're recognized.
Move previous question.
Okay, but previous question is a legitimate thing, so we're going to go on the board because we have over 3 objections. So, Madam Clerk, the previous question has been called. Put the vote on the board. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 14 ayes, 4 nays, and 1 present not voting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The previous question prevails. Madam Clerk, put the vote on the board. Where does this go?
This goes to calendar and rules.
Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 13 ayes, 4 nays, and 2 present not voting.
Thank you. House Bill 1664 does move to calendar and rules. Okay, members, thank you for that lively discussion. And for our students here today, you kind of see as we get into some issues that we had to deal with. Item number 7, Representative Mayberry, House Bill 1666.
Motion.
Get a motion and a second. Do you have amendment?
I do, Mr. Chairman. It's 17428.
17428, you got a motion and a second. It does rewrite the bill. Is there any objection, committee, for adding this to the bill for proper discussion? Hearing no objection. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. You're recognized, Representative Mayberry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill adds clarification, consistency within our statutory language related to honorifics such as Mr., Mrs., Mrs. The goal is to bring uniformity, especially across schools and state agencies. This is a bill that I brought constituents in Montgomery County. We have some teachers that are wanting to be called the honorific opposite of their gender from birth, and this is going to align them to not allow them to use Mrs. if they are, in fact, a Mr. Also, we clarified in the amendment that a honorific like mix that is MX can't be used as well. But just to bring clarity from the last committee, honorifics like doctor, coach, teacher have nothing to do with this bill. They can continue to be used. I stand ready for questions.
Very much for that explanation. Representative Sapicki, did you have a hand up first? Previous question been called. Okay, do we have 3 objections? Okay, we have 3 objections. The previous question is in order. So, Madam Clerk, would you put the previous question vote on the board? Representative Glenn, let's take the vote. Madam Clerk, please put the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 5 nays, and 0 present not voting.
Previous question prevails. Madam Clerk, put the vote on the board. Madam Clerk, take the vote. Okay. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 3 nays, and 3 present not voting.
Okay, House Bill 1666 does move out to calendar and rules. Thank you, members. That does complete our calendar. I'll come to it in a second. Thank you, members. I appreciate the discussion and keeping it orderly. Representative Sapicki, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'm requesting a 2-minute recess.
Without objection, we have a 2-minute recess. You ready?
Say we're back in session.
Okay, members, committee, we are back in session. Back in session, all conversation cease. Thank you so much. We did complete our calendar. We had some lively discussion. This has been a great committee this year. We do discuss educational issues. They're so important because we're here to make sure that our K through 12 and higher education gets the best standards and performance that we can. So members, thank you so very much. Thank you for your conversation. Without that, we are adjourned at the call of the chair. Thank you.